Originally, it was formed in the Depression out of necessity, where most of the Helensburgh community were miners and the mine would close. So most people would migrate to what was then actually a tent city. And there were, community vegetable gardens. People would fish and hunt for rabbits. There were actually a lot of people that worked in Helensburgh Colliery at the time that were also from Sydney, which a lot of people don't know. It wasn't just from the local Helensburgh community, quite a few people from like Redfern and Newtown. You can't own one. So they are, I guess, a title, like a lease, that's passed through family generations. So I guess you really just inherit it. You can't technically buy it. Bulgo lifestyle is very family-based community. I guess it sort of comes back to the original ideals of, it takes a community to raise a child rather than just, sort of parents. So very traditional way of life, very environmentally friendly. So our footprint, our, sort of environmental footprint is, I would say actually negative in the sense that, it's really not maintained by the national park as far as rubbish and those kind of controls. That's something that we do as a community to sustain the environment. So from the famous apple pie shop at Otford is across the road there's a walking track, and depending on your fitness levels then sort of maybe a 20-25 minute walk. Way too many deer, so yes, they're cute, but they're really not very good for the environment. So they are regularly culled by the national park. When I was a kid, you'd have bandicoots, but you'll find a bush rat or sea eagles, seagulls, just your normal sort of beach bird life. You often see the sea eagles that live in the cliffs just above the beach, the northern side of the beach. And snakes and funnel webs. Depending on what area you start from, so at the top of the hill it's still quite weedy. As you move further down, there's areas of like tropical rainforest. And then you move through to, sort of just your general coastal plants. Years ago, it was absolutely infested with lantana. And we also have like a land care group, so successfully removed basically most of the lantana and also the blackberry bushes. Shells most commonly would be abalone and cowrie shells. Also the turban shell. The beach is, because of the sort of reef that surrounds the area and filters most of the fine sand, it's very gritty sand. It's not like a normal beach, which is unusual to have on the southern side of the cabin community, a white sandy beach, and also on the north side, but our sand is quite coarse. Unlike a normal beach, it's not normal sand. So you can't live there full time. But there's, sort of on any given weekend, there could be anywhere from, 1 to 2 cabins occupied to, almost all of them. So depending on the time of year, and, we have certain celebrations that, are busier than others. So our family have been there for quite some time, like most other families in the Bulgo community. So our family, we've been there for 7 generations now, which is quite a long time, and from the origins really not a lot has changed. I think the way that we operate as sort of family networks and a community as a whole has pretty much still remained the same.